I'm going to stick by a statement I've said, I feel like 200 times in the last year and a half. Law-abiding firearm owners are not the problem. Predominantly, they are not the ones that are causing the issue. The issue is people that are criminals and aren't really willing to follow the law in the first place.
Threaded attachment and then a compensator at the front.
The vast majority of gun violence is perpetrated by people who are unlawfully in possession of illegal crime guns.
28 crime guns seized in Toronto.
Combination of prohibited and restricted, predominantly Glock-type handguns that were seized 1 week ago on Monday, August 21st at a hotel in the North York area. Staff members who were cleaning a hotel room located 3 firearms in that room and contacted police. 33 MCU continued the investigation from that point, executed a search warrant, and located an additional 25 firearms. Mr. Ahmed Farah, 30 years, has been arrested and charged with 135 firearm-related offenses in relation to these handguns, and 1 charge for failing to comply with the release order. As you know, gun violence continues to be one of the most significant public safety concerns in our city. The vast majority of gun violence is perpetrated by people who are unlawfully in possession of illegal crime guns that you see before you. These guns were 100% destined for our streets in Toronto, and as a result of this seizure, they cannot be used to take someone else's life and severely injure and maim people. I would just like to thank the other additional units that supported 33 in this endeavor. Our Forensic Identification Service officers did an excellent job with this. There was support from the Organized Crime Firearms Enforcement Unit and other units of the Toronto Police. So I'd like to thank the men and women who staff those units for their work. As I've said before, they work behind the scenes, and I'm able to stand in front of you and acknowledge it. So thank you to the men and women of all our units. This is a significant seizure. I can tell you that, the Toronto Police Service has seized 382 crime guns to date for the year of 2023. Province of Ontario is 1,301. So we are responsible for, almost 30% of the crime gun seizures.
Where do they come from? What kind of gun? Are they handmade? Are they, where do they come from?
Yeah. The investigation is still continuing at this point. We've engaged in tracing. I can tell you that a portion of it have been traced all to the southern U.S. at this point, southern U.S. states. These guns are not handmade.
136 charges?
Correct.
That's a lot. Can you talk about the range of offenses? Is this accused connected to organized criminal activities?
Those are specifically offenses in relation to the firearms you see in front of you. They're in relation to the differences between prohibited and restricted. There's a number of overcapacity, I believe 22 overcapacity magazines, which are prohibited. So there's a separate charge for each capacity. So that's where the number of charges comes into play.
The public is very frustrated that so many guns are coming across the border. You traced some of them, you said. What can you tell us about why these guns are getting across the border so frequently, and what specifically could be done to minimize this in some way?
Well, this is not the first time that we've stood in front of you with a large seizure of handguns. So, and it's a very common knowledge that we have probably one of the largest, if not the largest, undefended border in the free world. So there is a lot of border crossings. There is a lot of opportunity. And I can tell you that our federal partners and provincial partners, are working very diligently with cross-border enforcement, as we have units within the Toronto Police Service that are working to that too, in collaboration and in close hand with our American partners.
Are they all handguns? Or can we say
they're all handguns? Yes, they're all 25 prohibited handguns, 3 restricted handguns. Barrel length. Barrel length is a discriminating factor between those 2 distinctions, and in addition, overcapacity magazines.
So it means the amount of shots you could release at one time, just for the public to understand?
Overcapacity magazines are number of rounds, ability to be fired. Anything in excess of 10 is prohibited, and barrel length is barrel length.
Are any of these guns new?
I don't know the answer to that.
So leave out.
Okay, thank you very much.